Welcome to the WJBM Outdoor Show, brought to you by Midwest Tractor Sales in Jerseyville. We're coming to you from the WJBM Studios in Jerseyville, the voice of the Tri-Counties. I'm Aaron Quillan. I operate Monarch Rivers, where the mission is simple: kill big deer. Today, joining us, we have a return guest, kind of one of my fishing advisors, sits on the board of directors for fishing the great rivers here. And no further ado, Mr. Kyle Neuhaus.
Yeah, thanks for having me again.
Yeah, man. It's good to see you.
Yeah.
All right, let's just talk.
Yeah, fishing time. It's finally fishing,
Well, hold
finally
on a
spring
second.
fishing time, you know.
How you been?
Good.
How's work?
Going good. Winter time is kind of slow when you have a tree service, you know.
Yeah.
You can do stumps here and there, and you can do, as long as the trees you can reach from the driveway or the road, they're not too bad. But during the winter, trying to go in people's yards usually doesn't work out real well. So we got some jobs kind of saved up for once the ground gets solid and stuff like that. But yeah, it's about to start picking up.
Yeah, I get that. Because here you don't get a lot of like permafrost. You don't get that like
Right.
frozen ground.
It's one day and then the next day it's slop. So
I know, right? But yeah, I mean, you got some good equipment for that too. That little skid steer with the turf
Right.
tires, that thing's slick.
Yeah, it makes it nice, not tearing yards up and stuff with that guy.
Yeah, man. Well, spring is here. We
Mhm.
got some good weather. Might be a few days this week coming up. Be sunny, wind. I don't know how much rain we got overall, but it'll probably dry out a little bit.
Yeah, I'm hoping it dries out next week. We just got dumped on pretty good.
All right.
But
cool.
that does do something for the fishing, though, doesn't it?
Yeah,
Ooh.
yeah. But before we get on to fishing, come on.
Okay, my bad.
Give yourself a little plug real quick.
Yeah.
K&J Tree Service here in Jerseyville.
Yes. Yep. So it's me and my buddy Josh Stevens. We've been doing a lot of tree work the past year. I think we officially started the business last July. And yeah, we're any tree work you need done, any removals, trims, anything like that. We operate out of Jerseyville, Carrollton, Godfrey, anywhere in the surrounding areas.
All right.
Yep, just give me a call or text. My phone number is 217-248-9266.
All right.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. All right. Now let's talk fishing.
Yeah.
You went out today?
I did go out today.
Okay.
I woke up, I think I got up at about 8 o'clock, and, I got out of the house about 8 o'clock and
All right.
decided, I had some frozen bait, and it was pretty windy, but I went over and caught some fish from the creek, and ended up getting some carp and whatnot. Figured I might as well go for some catfish, so did a little catfishing this morning. Didn't have any luck, but the creeks are pretty full, pretty quick right now. Hopefully with the water going up, we can have that spring phenomenon where the fish are biting and the bank poles are rocking and everything else. So
Yeah.
but we'll see how it goes, though. I haven't really got into them yet and started catching them yet, so I'm not sure that they're biting quite yet, but it's got to be coming soon.
Okay. Yeah. River gauge at Hardin, what did it say? I think it was jumping 2 feet over the next couple of days.
Yeah.
That was the projected. I don't know what it ended up being.
Yeah, that's
So
something like that's going to make it hard to fish in certain spots,
why
anywhere.
is that?
Well, mostly debris in the water. Whenever the water starts coming up, it just starts picking trash up from the bank and from the woods and whatnot, and it's getting a lot of weeds and a lot of leaves and sticks and everything else, so it's hard to keep your line in the water without too much trash building up on it, and then it just takes everything down current, so you got to find, when the water's coming up like that and the rivers are raging that hard, you got to try the creeks. And if the creeks are doing that too, then you almost got to find like a little cutout or somewhere where there's not a lot of current, and that's where the fish are going to be liking to hide anyways, a nice little eddy outside of the current or something.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I just looked it up. River is in Hardin, Illinois, river's at 21 feet. Projected 23.3. So it looks like they added more.
Yeah, okay.
So
At some point, it will become unfishable, possibly, so it is nice to kind of get in before it gets too bad,
Okay. Now, is there a strategy when it becomes unfishable like that? Is that where you do go to some more bank poles and things like that?
Yeah, and I don't do much bank poles and stuff anymore, but back in the day, though, that was, definitely. And if you're trying to just load up your freezer, that's usually the move. You do a bank pole, and the fish are, as the water comes up in those creeks, it's submerging worms, so they're popping out of the banks, and all the bait fish are attacking those worms on the bank, and then big old flatheads come through and eat them. So, yeah, a lot of people say, well, you got to use worms. That's what they're after. Well, they're after the small fish that are eating the worms, in my opinion.
Food chain.
Yeah. And if you just have worms on there, you're going to get picked off by them little bait fish on that big hook quick. So you want a nice, hearty chunk of cut bait on there or a live guy. I like live bait. It can defend itself a little bit better against gar and all that and stay alive, and you can have a live bait on the hook the whole time. So that's I'm normally going with the live bait, but
okay. Yeah. All right. Now, is there any advantage to the mouths of these creeks, or I don't even know if this is relevant with runoff, but is it like a cleaner water meeting a murkier water when the creeks are kind of doing this runoff from the rain we just had?
You will see that, and I know that's I've been walleye fishing before up north, and that's probably what you're talking about.
Yeah.
You get that mud seam, and you can play with that, and that was my first time really experiencing that. But I have been to, like you said, the mouth of a creek, or where two creeks meet, and one of them is way murkier than the other.
Okay.
And I would say one thing is that murkier water, it will if you're in maybe a lake and you get a side that's murky and then like a murky shallow section, and then you have like a deeper section that's not, that shallow murky section is going to get warmer much quicker.
Okay.
That clear water and stuff just doesn't warm up as fast. So what I have seen before, and kind of blew my mind on lake fishing, was it was about this time of year, and maybe even a little earlier on. The water temperature was still a little cold, but we found, nobody could catch any catfish. And we tried our first day. This was at Lake Texoma, me and one of my friends who's a good catfisherman.
Okay.
And we couldn't figure him out. No one else could. What happened was it was 2021, and Texas had just had a big freeze, and all the shad died in the river or in the lake. So they all fell to the bottom, and all the fish were just gorging on them. So if you threw a piece of shad anywhere, why would they want it? They're full. They've got all they want. So what fish want is they want food. They want comfort, as in find the water temperature they want, and they want to spawn and stuff, right? Yeah. So water temperature. That ended up being the trick, the key. Okay. We ended up sucking up our pride, got a hold of the guide from that lake. Okay. Said, all right, buddy, we came here for 3 days. We wasted one. We don't want to waste two more. Right. We'll pay you. We'll go out with you. You show us what this is all about. And he'd been on that lake for 20 years, guiding for 15. And he took us over to, it just happened to be a real sunny day the day before and that day. And that was warming up those flat shallows, was about 4 foot deep maybe. Yeah. And we were catching 30-foot blue cats. Really? And big striper. And I mean, you'd pull up and you would see them just take off, and you were like, all the fish are right here? He's like, yep. Yes, nice. They are. And none of the shad was there. They were all out in the deep and stuff. So now they found their comfort. You throw a piece of shad in their face, they're going to take it. So, okay. Yeah, so we told him thank you, we gave him a tip, and then we stole his spot the next day. He understood.
So when you say 30 foot, they were at 30 foot of depth because that's where the temperature was? Or were you saying 30-pound blue
30-pound blue cat.
Okay. You said 30 foot. I was
my bad. Yeah, no, we were catching. Yeah, we caught I think 2 30-pound blue cats. And, dude. Yeah, and several others. Which that's not the biggest blue cat we ever caught, but to hop on and go from catching nothing to 2 30s was pretty cool. This guy he knew what he was doing, and it was. And there's a big difference between fishing rivers and fishing lakes. He taught us a lot that day.
Where's that lake at?
It is Lake Texoma. It's right on the border of Texas and Oklahoma.
I kind of figured it sounded a little geographically named there.
Yep. Just you could have either fishing license, pretty much. It split the state. So.
All right.
Yeah, cool lake. They is known for blue cats and striper. And like I said, I'm glad we sucked up our pride and talked to the guide, because otherwise we would have been batting zero. Guarantee it. Guarantee it.
Well, that's the fun of it. You got to figure them out. It's something different every time.
Oh yeah, and that's the thing about fishing. Once you do get them figured out, and it's fun, and then you catch your fish, and then you're over it.
Right.
And you go home and wait till the next time. You got to figure them out. Yep.
Yeah. Any projections for here coming up with the river? Any idea of, some of these sunnier, warm days, or any of the clouds? Some guys like fishing in the rain. Where are you at on that?
Oh, I will fish in the rain for sure, if I can get under a bridge or something. I'm not gonna. My boat don't have awning or nothing on it where I'm gonna be able to comfortably stay out of the rain, But I usually, if I can get there right after a rain or something like that. But like this morning, though, I knew it was gonna be possibility of raining, so I parked up under a bridge. Okay. And I was like, if it don't get to me, I ain't too worried about it. So.
Right. All right. Yeah. And then, do you think any? We talk about water temperature, and catfish are probably going to be similar to that. Is there any temperature that you would look for right now, or just kind of the creeks are should be a little warmer than the river, maybe?
That's the hope, is that the creeks will get warmer faster, and they'll shoot up the creeks and start exploring around. And you've got until June. Usually until they start spawning, and that's when the water hits a steady 70 to 74 is normally when they're spawning around here, so you want to kind of beat that and get that spring fishing in. And then once June hits, I'm probably going to go start cutting some trees and give up the hobbies for a little bit and try and make some money.
Yeah, I hear that. All right, well, we're going to take a quick break, hear a word from our sponsors, and we'll be right back. Welcome back to the WJBM Outdoor Show, brought to you by Midwest Tractor Sales in Jerseyville. We're coming to you from the WJBM Studios in Jerseyville, the voice of the Tri-Counties. I'm Aaron Quillan. I operate Monarch Rivers with a mission is simple: kill big deer. And we were just talking with our guest, Kyle Neuhaus, about catfishing. And Kyle, there's another fishing trip that you recently went on.
Yeah, the spoonbill snagging trip.
Yeah.
Yes. Let's see, spoonbill season is from mid-March, I think March 15th to the end of April. And that is when the spoonbill are migrating over at Lake of the Ozarks area in Oklahoma and all that. They're over here in the Mississippi, but not near as plentiful as they are over there. So it's worth making the trip. But yeah, they'll start in the main waters at the lake, and they'll work their way up to the river section and take off up to the next dam, which is up in Warsaw. And people, normally you can keep track of the Facebook page and just kind of keep track of them from what mile marker they're going to all the way up to the dam. But recently, we started switching from trolling for them, where you're dragging hooks through the water, hoping to snag into them.
Yeah.
To now, it's a little more targeted, a little more precise. We're using live scope, and basically you set your settings back as far as you can, where you can just look around, 90 feet, and right as soon as you see a dot, you just start going towards it, and then you just keep zooming in on your electronics until you can make out what it is. And you can, with these spoonbill, if you've never seen them, they've got a nose on them, almost like a swordfish. So they're very easy to identify on the electronics once you take a look at one, especially a bigger one.
Okay.
And so once you know that you're on one, you got one guy on the trolling motor sitting there chasing them around, looking at the electronics, trying to get you at the right pitching range, and then the other guy's got the weight with the hooks on it and is on his fishing pole, and he's pitching out in front of it, and we're watching the tackle on the screen go out in front of the fish.
Oh, wow.
And you're walking your tackle back, and then at the, usually it's a coordinated effort of rip, and you just do a big ripping motion with your rod and try to snag into it. And once you get into them, yeah, you'll know it. It's on.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So is this live scope?
Mm-hmm.
And you said it goes off the back of the boat, the front, the sides?
Front of the boat. So
okay.
You put your transducer on the trolley motor so that wherever you turn your trolley motor from left to right, it's looking that way for you. So, so if I look to my left and I see a hard signal, I know he's right there. And if that signal gets weaker, I'm going to go right. And if my signal gets weaker, that means he's going left. So I'll go back left. Oh, there he is. He's going left. And then I'll keep up with him, and I'll try to get on his tail and just start following him. And then I'm telling the other guys, hey, we got a fish. And there's a guy on each side of me, and we can see that, he's pointing where the trolling motor's pointing. And you can see on your graph, he's about 20 foot out maybe. So throw it out. And you can kind of calibrate yourself, by a few misses and stuff, and the guy who's working the trolling motor can tell you, you were behind him, you were off this way. And you kind of work together to try to get into the fish. Okay.
That's wild.
Yeah, it's fun. It's catching one while you're trolling was fun, but this is different because you get a 40, 50, 60, 70 pound fish just live in your hand all at once. Normally you got it in the rod holder or whatever when that happens. And if you're snagging a fish, you're not necessarily getting them right in the mouth where you can turn their head during the fight. Anytime that you got anything by the mouth, you're going to be winning,
Right.
But whenever you snag them, in the belly or right in the back, and all they got to do is run away from you, it's like if I hooked you in the mouth and you start running, I could get you back a little easier if I hooked onto the back of your pants and you started running.
Yeah, you're going for a ride.
Yeah. So that's the big difference. They'll, if you don't have a big enough tackle, they can spool you pretty quick. And a lot of people will fish down at the dams over there in Missouri, and they'll snag into a spoonbill, and it'll just take off down the side and cross everyone's line and spool you. It's when you get into one, you just got to cut your line if you're smart. If you're at the dam and there's a lot of other people, because it'll spool you quick.
Yeah. Dang. Now these things get big.
Yeah, was that 2 years ago that I thought it was the world record was caught at the Lake of the Ozarks, or maybe it was Lake of the Ozarks in Oklahoma. They have a shootout. It's always one place and the other with the record, it seems like, but it's usually consistently in that area, though. And I believe like 142 pounds might be the record, which, you're talking about a little bit bigger than a blue cat. A blue cat record's probably around 130, 140, but I'd say these spoonbill get just a little bigger than that.
Those are both river monsters.
Yeah, that's both fish I want to get my hands on. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So we're talking about the older way of doing it versus the new way of doing it. Mm-hmm. Like, how much more effective are you?
So you're not just kind of shooting in the dark anymore, and we talked about how they migrate from the main waters of the lake up to the dam. You normally had to keep up with them because you'd have to go to the most condensed section of the lake in order to have a shot just dragging hooks through.
Yeah.
And so you'd have to really keep up with that. It's not really like that when you're spoonbills or when you're using your live scope, because you just go out and you just got to get onto one. You only got to see one.
Yeah.
So, it ain't... if you go where they're all at, that's going to help, but there's also going to be a lot of trolling boats there that you got to kind of stay away from, and you don't want to be that guy who's live scoping out in the middle of the range where everyone's going back and forth.
Yeah.
Then that makes you kind of that guy. So never be that guy.
Right.
In fishing, hunting, anything.
Yeah.
So, but it's nice though, because you can go to, like, we've got friends at like the 54-mile marker, and then we got friends at like the 62-mile marker. So it's like if we're just live scoping, we don't have to go to the most condensed area. We can just go to an area that's we know is going to be pretty good, consistently good every year.
Yeah.
And we catch our fish there, and we can stay away from the busy boat ramps like that too, because everyone's gonna be on that Facebook page seeing what boat ramp everyone's using.
Yeah.
And they're gonna pile up on that boat ramp, and it's good luck parking. Gonna be an hour in the parking lot and stuff like that. It's getting really big over there. Ameren owns the lake, I believe, Lake of the Ozarks. Well, they dumped a bunch of spoonbill in at the lake, probably 5 or 6 or so years ago. They dumped a bunch in because they were realizing it was kind of like a tourist attraction deal or whatever. And that was their way of doing something for the community, I guess. But there's a lot of spoonbill in there, though. There's,
okay.
And all those that they dumped in, I think, are at the size now that are, probably 50, 60 pound, like the big, getting bigger, so there's a lot of good keepers out there right now for sure.
Okay. That's cool. So, well, how'd you do in this last trip?
This last trip we did good. I was sick leading up to it.
Yeah.
I wish I would have had more time to prepare my boat.
Okay.
I don't know that I would have if I wasn't sick,
Right.
But we got there and things were going good, but my trolling motor was acting up on me a little bit. But we powered through and we got, there was 3 of us on the first day. And I think we got 4 fish, in a few hours, and then got out of there and went back to the house and cleaned the fish, and we caught some bait and catfished off the dock while we were cleaning our spoonbill,
Yeah.
And that spoonbill, it's really good meat. It's not quite the same texture as catfish. So if you fry it, I can never tell the difference, but there's going to be someone in your family who can, one of those.
I like it. It's got more like substance to it. It's,
for sure.
Obviously not, what's that one, Alaskan fish? It's like flat on one side. You know what I'm talking about? Flounder, but like, halibut. There we go.
Oh, halibut. Yeah. I just had some halibut.
Okay. It's halibut's more of like a lobster texture, but it's got like some substance to it.
Yeah.
I'd say that substance or texture is kind of spoony like.
Yeah, for sure. And we've like if you get on the Facebook page, a lot of people were the first ones to say smoking it can be the way to go. And so I've smoked a lot of it. I like that. I started air frying it.
Okay.
Man, if you're not using the air fryer for all meat and fish, you're missing out. Because, even that halibut I cooked in the air fryer, and that came out real good. But, last year I was cooking a lot of spoonbill because it was coming spoonbill season, and I still had a lot left over from the trip before.
All right.
And, and if you smoke it, one thing is salt it real good, smoke it, and, it kind of preserves itself a little bit. And then you can just kind of use it like beef jerky or something, just kind of keep it in the cooler during the fishing trip, and pull out and just start eating on it. And it's big old fillets, so just like a big old meaty nugget,
Right.
Pretty cool way to eat fish, Dip it in butter if you want or something. Yeah, it's good. I'll have to smoke some for you.
Yeah, looking forward to that. All right, and so when are you headed back out?
We've got our second trip of the year is not this coming weekend, but the one after. And we're going to be taking 2 boats on this one because Moose has 3 friends wanting to go. And then I've got a friend flying in. We talked yesterday, and he's a Michigan boy.
Okay.
His name's Andrew. He worked with me down on the island.
All right.
I talked to him, and he's got that little northern accent, and I was like, he's like, so when's spoonbill snagging this year? I was like, it's going on right now, buddy. Oh, better get a ticket and make my way on up there. I'm like, come on. He's living down in Florida right now. So he just got laid off and he's excited. He's ready to book a plane ticket.
What part of Michigan is he from?
He is from Grand Rapids.
That's where I'm from.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that accent is a little bit further north than GR.
Is it?
No.
Okay, well.
Oh, that's awesome. All right. So season-wise, like, I guess since you're chasing them to the dam
Mhm.
for the spawn, is season kind of over when they spawn, or are you still able to get in?
Well, once the last like 2 miles to the bridge or to the dam is, there's a bridge there, and you're
Okay.
not allowed to fish past that bridge.
Ah,
You're not allowed to snag past that
finishing
bridge.
line.
Yep. So
All right.
people hang out there and snag from the bank there and stuff like that, you know.
Yeah.
But you don't. Sometimes the fish, they're all the way up there, and you've got to go up there.
Okay.
You know, you don't want to wait that long though. You want to get them before they get all the way up there, and otherwise everyone's there. You know.
Okay.
Everyone's there. So it's nice to get them a little early. It's kind of hard to predict sometimes. Like I said, if you keep up with the Facebook page, you know, they'll kind of give away where they're at and, you know, what's going on. So you ain't got to go scout the week before or something, you know.
So are these river monsters like swimming at this depth all year long and you just don't know it because they're a plankton feeder, or?
Yeah, they're on the bottom and stuff. If you see, and they school up. So if you go around with your electronics, I'm sure you'd see them. But a place like Lake of the Ozarks, it's so mountainous terrain. You know, if you whenever you look at the lake, it's so much different than it is around here because it's just hard rock shelf drops. You know, you might be 140 feet, and you might be 40 foot deep. You know, you don't know. So my guess is they're trying to find where they can both find the bottom and the right temperature.
Okay.
So if, you know, 40 foot down, if that water column is the temperature they like, they're going to go find somewhere where 40 foot down is also the bottom, so that they could be at the bottom, you know, filter feeding, but then they can also be at that temperature that they want to be at.
Okay.
That's what I believe anyways.
All right.
Yeah, but you wouldn't normally see, you know, you might normally see, most people have just seen a dead spoonbill floating, you know, and they're just like, what is that? And
Right.
up until a few years ago, yeah, I wouldn't have known either.
It's a platypus with fins.
Yep, freshwater swordfish.
Yeah. Yeah, they're wild. All right, so what are the requirements for a keeper on one of those?
I think it's you measure from the fork in the tail to the eye, and
Okay.
I believe it's 34 inches as
Yeah.
a keeper, and it used to be 36. Now it's 34. We got pulled over by conservation while I was catching a fish this time.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, I've got it on video and everything. They were really cool. We were legal, of course.
Yeah.
But we had one fish that was right at a keeper that we had just caught, and it was on the front of the boat, and we were right out in the middle of a big pack. You know, we were doing the best, I guess, so people were kind of just circling around us. You know, normally we're, you know, bird dogging in on someone else, but everyone else come in on us, though, you know.
Yeah.
And then I happened to catch a good one. And so everyone's watching, conservation just sitting there waiting for us to land it so they can come up and check us, you know. We had that one little fish right at the front, and I think everyone wanted to see us fail. I think everyone wanted to see us get in trouble. We didn't, though. They measured everything, checked our license, and we were good, so.
Yeah. Game guys, they're always pretty cool.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I'm glad he waited for you to catch the fish.
Yeah. When they came up, you know, guys were small talking while everyone's fumbling around trying to get stuff, and someone asked, you know, how good's everyone doing? And they said, well, it's you guys right now. And we said, well, what's the biggest fish? And they said, that one right there. Which, you know, it was a 70-pounder. Normally, you know, someone's got a bigger one on the boat already than that, but it was only the second weekend, you know, so. No one, and there's a lot of those mid-size ones running around right now. So, you know, unless you see it on your, you could get real greedy on your live scope, and you could say, that one's not quite big enough. Let's look for another one and scoot around like that if the fishing's that good, you know.
Yeah.
But for the most part, you see one, you see it's a bill, and you go for it.
Yeah.
I got a gar to start it off with. I got a gar because a gar it's got the nose, you know, and I snagged it and we reeled it up and was like, dang, well, at least the accuracy's there, you know.
Right.
Good practice shot.
You got to count it.
Yeah.
Landed is landed.
Yep. Caught a shad as well.
Snagging?
Yeah.
Just
pitched down, pulled up, and it was one one cast before before I caught that big one in front of him, I snagged a shad. So if I would have taken that shad and turned around and said, "Hey boys, bait for later," and threw it back, they would have gotten us for that for sure.
Oh, you can't.
No, you're only allowed to snag a spoonbill.
Oh,
Yep.
well, I mean, like the gar on accident. There's nothing you can do about that.
No, yeah. You just, as long as you throw it back in, whatever it is that you caught. So if you snag, a lot of people, snag a big catfish, and if they see you throw
Oh.
that in your live well or something, yeah, they'll get you.
Yeah. Well, that's a game fish.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it's weird. I was just talking to my nephew. He's been in Alaska the past couple of years, and he's talking about the fishing up there.
Yeah, okay.
And he's like, yeah, it's great fish. He's like, but it's interesting because most of the fishing is snagging.
Really?
Yeah. And it totally made sense because when I was up there fishing, you do this thing called flossing. And like the line's rigged up a certain way where you got the weight out past the hook.
Uh-huh.
No, you got the weight in between the hook, but you got lots of line there. So you're really kind of feeding it, but you never open your reel whatsoever. Once you get about 18 foot of line out, you kind of hand line it to get the desired, what you need to do, and you cast it out and you bump it down. And the way that it's rigged is the line is going to catch in their mouth, and then as they're swimming up, takes up the slack, and wham, that's how it snags them.
Okay.
And so it's called flossing for salmon, and it's sockeye salmon. Apparently they don't eat once they enter the river system.
Yeah.
And you could predict where they were going to be because they swim closer to the bank. Because if you think about it, the flow of water, they're swimming upstream.
Mm-hmm.
They only have resistance to the, inward side where there's like land and that pitch that most rivers have right there. They don't get resistance. So they swim right there. So you know where to put the line. And man, when they're running, there's like a public fish counter. So you know where they're at, where they're going to hit. And you think, I'm going fishing in Alaska.
Right.
It's going to be like all out, man, there's a line of 200 people.
Whew. I've seen the
videos.
videos.
Yeah.
I've seen the videos, yeah.
And don't get me wrong. It's an awesome time. It's great fish. Like, what a unbelievable experience. It's gorgeous. Like, the whole thing's sweet. But he's like, a lot of it's snagging.
Yeah.
He's like, and snagging's great. There's nothing wrong with it. But, he's like, usually when you're fishing, they're biting a lure or something. He's like,
right. You got to convince them to bite what you're selling them there. Yeah. That's where I've gotten into it with my, one of my friends before about the spoonbill snagging, he's telling me, well, that ain't really fishing.
Oh.
I mean, I'm like, well, that's fine, but his fishing was more of, walleye fishing up in the lake.
Yeah.
And I said, well, okay. It bit purple instead of green. Congratulations. But there was no fight. We just skipped it across the top of the water. I said, so what's more fishing? The hard angling, fighting a fish, or convincing it to bite the right thing? I said, I don't think you're getting, some things you can get everything that, satisfies you in fishing. But for me, I don't know. I like having a big fish on the end of my line.
That's
most important to me is that
right.
size.
Yeah. There are species that I like to catch, but all in all, I think my favorite fishing for me is trolling.
Yeah.
And it's just, you're on a boat, having a good time. It's kind of like the duck hunting of fishing. And you're going as slow as the boat can possibly go. You got that. I love that sound of the motor going in and out of the water, inboard, outboard.
Oh, yeah.
That is... That does it for me. That's my favorite. And then usually you're catching a big fish.
Yeah, and if you're doing that, I'm making breakfast. I'm cooking. I actually did make a big old breakfast last spoonbill snagging trip.
Yeah, you got a cooler full of sodas, and you just
always
great time.
Yeah.
But I love all kind of. I mean, you guys got me into catfishing.
Oh yeah, man. You can't live in this area where we got two major rivers,
Right.
within a golf ball hitting range. I mean, you got to go catch a big old blue cat or big old flathead,
Yeah, never did I think I'd be a world catfishing champion of the world,
Didn't take you long. Didn't take long.
All right, we're going to take a quick break, hear a word from our sponsors. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the WJBM Outdoor Show, brought to you by Midwest Tractor Sales in Jerseyville. We're coming to you from the WJBM Studios in Jerseyville, the voice of the Tri-Counties. I'm Aaron Quillan. I operate Monarch Rivers, where the mission is simple: kill big deer. And our guest, for those of you just joining, Kyle Neuhaus, world catfishing champion of the world. And we were just talking about a bunch of different fishing stuff, but hey, man, did you keep tabs on that St. Louis tournament that just took place?
Yeah, I think it was the Alton Classic.
Yeah, there we go. Alton Classic. Yep.
Yep. I have not, I haven't entered one of those yet. I don't know if I ever will, know. But I do have friends who enter it, and got one buddy from Springfield who got third, which doesn't surprise me. They won big fish.
Okay.
Caught a 110-pound blue.
Oh, that's the guy I heard about.
Probably.
Okay.
Braxton Ledoux.
All right.
He's the man. He decided, it seemed like, well, he's always been an outdoorsman. He's up from Springfield area.
Yeah.
He's a lineman buddy of mine, We went through the apprenticeship together.
All right.
And Braxton, he's one of those guys that if he does something, he goes all out. And it was like I see he bought a Sea Arc one day. Next thing you know, he's doing a little catfishing up at Springfield Lake. Next thing you know, he's winning all the tournaments up there.
Okay.
I mean, had a lights out tournament up there one time, and then he's everyone. I thought he slowed down on his catfishing, honestly. And the next thing you know, he entered the Alton Classic, and him and his buddy put a 110-pound fish on the boat, and won him $1,500 or something. And then they ended up getting third place overall, but. It wouldn't surprise me if they win that one here soon. I mean, they're just consistently, good at catfishing. I mean, next level.
So it seems like the biggest catfish are a little bit closer to the city. Is that accurate?
That's where most people are catching them. Right there in St. Louis by the, below the dam, or if you're on the top side of the dam there, there's definitely a lot of big fish in there. That's not really an area I care to go to, just because I'd rather be somewhere more secluded, even if the fish might be slightly smaller. But you could also say that they've got less pressure on them if you're a little further away from that area too. So, I don't know that there's necessarily bigger fish there, or just, that's where the charter guys happen to be, and that's where the big, that's where the tournaments are. So that's where the big fish are gonna be caught,
Okay.
But man, I would myself. I don't drive all the way down to St. Louis whenever we got a good stretch.
Yeah.
Right there that not many other people are using. So I'd rather go there and know that I've got the whole area to myself, and know that those fish aren't being pressured too bad, and it's just the way I'd rather do it myself. But
yeah,
and then you ain't got to worry about your truck getting broken into or anything while you're out, because boat ramps can be a sketchy area. Not enough cameras, no one's really watching it. You hear about people, windows getting busted open and everything, and well, I try to stay away from that.
Yeah, out here, all you got to worry about is bub stealing your spots.
Yeah, let them have them.
Oh, that's awesome. This is something I wanted to ask you about, because you think deep about stuff like this. I like that. We've just had record warmth, right, for this time of year across a lot of the country. We might have I don't know if we broke records locally, but it's been unusually warm.
Right.
That should warm things up to some extent. What do you see happening with the upcoming fishing season as like a result of that? Anything?
Well, hopefully last year, spring was not very good. And I think what happened last year was we had our big rain and water push before we got that heat.
Yeah.
And, so that threw everything off. The fish weren't, the water temperatures weren't right yet for the water going up like it was, and we didn't really have that spring fishing experience like you're normally going for. This year, it's been warm early. You'd hope that it would just mean that everything starts a little sooner. Not always the way nature works, though, I mean, even if everything's getting warm, and I'm not sure if in the fish's mind if that's enough or if they know that it's not the right time yet. Hard telling, but I think it's normally just water temperature and stuff like that they're looking for. So I'm hoping that we just have a good early spring fishing that goes on. But, with that means that they're going to be spawning sooner. So they're going to be shutting down sooner. So you better get on them now and get on it now. And once it slows down, you'll know. But if everything's a month ahead of time, I wouldn't be surprised this year at all. So I'm going to try to get all my fishing done, within the next month or so, and then focus on other things.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what does seem like it's a month ahead of time.
Mm-hmm.
The green up is starting to happen.
Yes.
And I'm starting to hear grumblings of mushrooms.
Yeah, I've seen where some people, you get those warriors who go out and search for us, the people who are proud to find the first mushroom of the year, which I say go nuts. I'm not looking all day for one mushroom so I could say, hey, they're here.
Right.
You let me know when they're popping.
And thank you for letting us know.
Yes, you're a hero.
Yeah. I don't know. It seemed like they were small. Where does it come first? Is it grays or yellows?
It look like little grays
Yeah.
first. And that's what the only ones I've seen popping up are just, some people have pictures of the little grays. But yeah, we normally wait till, the yellows are going nuts and popping, and then we'll go out and hammer them a couple times. And I'm usually going maybe once or twice a year, and with a buddy, I ain't really got any good spots. So I'll go and I'll get my fill of mushrooms once a year, and then I'm usually done, I mean, some people save them and eat them throughout the year or whatever,
Yeah.
For me, it's like I'll do one fish fry in the spring. I'll do one mushroom eating session. And then I kind of move on and save it for the next year. You know what I mean? Let it be that special time of year thing,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's how I get my figure. I tend to gorge a little bit more.
Okay.
And linger in the mushrooms for a while. Man, they're so good.
Oh, I do love some mushrooms. Me and Levi went nuts one year. We were putting them on pizza and really exploring what you can do with a morel mushroom.
That's it's the best.
Oh,
on pizza, in the eggs.
I like to just saute them and just eat them straight out of the butter. Oh.
Yes, that's
my go-to.
The texture's not as good as when they're fried like that, but if you I don't know, I guess get it really hot and you kind of burn them a little bit.
Yes.
They don't burn so much, and you don't want to burn your butter, but same.
Get that right texture you're going forward. Throw them on a steak or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, one thing I still haven't become a turkey hunter yet,
Oh.
Isn't that the other spring? If you're really going for the Grand Slam, you got to get mushrooms, crappie, and a turkey.
Be careful what you wish for. It is like a compulsion.
I've been hearing them.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't even have necessarily a lot of turkey around me, but I've been hearing them.
Yeah. They, man, when you get in close on a gobbler, so you've never been turkey hunting?
I bought the tag, the extra credential on my bow tag, I guess. You can do that,
Oh, for the fall.
Yeah, I did that, and I was like, sure, if I see a turkey, and I bought the turkey stamp, to go with the deer tag, and I seen, I think 4 or 5 coming from my right, and I was like, oh, nice, I'm gonna get me a turkey right off the bat, and 2 of them kind of went out in front of me and were walking away, and the other 2 were just kind of staring my direction, and I was like, hey, you 2 can, do whatever you want. I'm gonna pop one of these ones. I pulled back, and they just started communicating, and the 2 in front of me just started running in a zigzag pattern, and I'm like, what? So I just sailed an arrow, and no luck.
Okay.
They're a little smarter than I gave them credit for.
All right. I think for me is the first time I had a gobbler get in on me, and it was like you feel it in your body when they gobble, and it's like you want to jump out of your skin. That it's for some reason they reduce me to like I there's nothing better than turkey hunting.
Really? Is that one of your favorite?
Oh, in turkey season is my absolute favorite.
Okay.
And it can be very challenging. There's a lot of disappointment and anguish that go along with turkey hunting if you're Aaron Quillan.
I know we got a lot of guys who go over to Oklahoma, is that right?
Oklahoma's got great turkeys. Yeah, Missouri's got great turkeys. Illinois is actually getting better. Michigan's probably got the best turkeys in the country. There's only one bird, and they're dumb. They're just so dumb. There's so many dumb old birds there, and you can only shoot one, even for residents. So they stay stacked with birds. But some of these out west states, you can go and shoot 3. And
would you say that in Illinois they're doing things like bounties on raccoon tails and stuff like that? Do you think that kind of stuff is helping with the turkey population in our area?
That is big time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Giving people a little incentive to get rid of some of these nest robbing raccoons.
Yeah. I just saw something on Facebook. I shared it on my personal. I mean, it's just an article, so it's an article on the internet, but it said a study came back that coon populations are 400% higher than projected, like what they thought they would be.
Okay.
So coons are rampant. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's hard to slow them down.
Yeah,
they don't have predators.
They're. I mean, I'm sure like a coyote would eat a coon, but you can climb trees. Coyotes can't.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bobcat might be more selective, but. All right, man. Well, thank you for coming out. Are you excited for what's next?
What's that?
Well, jiu-jitsu.
Oh, yeah. You're coming with me tonight.
Yeah. So tonight is the closest thing to my wrestling background that jiu-jitsu has to offer.
Yep.
It's no gi.
Yep.
So I call it karate suit.
Yep.
And so I'm excited. Where are we going to go?
We're going right over to the Head Nod Gym, which is right across from Farm and Home, right next to Top Shots.
All right.
And we got class Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Thursday is the no-gi day, which is what Aaron was talking about. Normally you see jiu-jitsu, you're wearing the gi, which, it looks like the robe.
Yeah.
And that gets to get used against you, but once you get good at it, you got to use it against other people. But on Thursday is no-gi jiu-jitsu, and that's where you're not allowed to grab clothing, much closer to traditional wrestling like we're used to.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's no-gi has been my favorite, just transition from wrestling and stuff a lot better. Hopefully we'll be able to get another no-gi class going, but yeah, we're adding more days to the gym though, for sure, and trying to get more people in there. So if you have any interest in doing jiu-jitsu, come over from, kids class starts at 5:00, bigger kids class starts at 5:30, and then adult class starts at 6:30. It's Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and then Thursday is no-gi, adults only at 6:30. Yeah, if you've never done it before, just come in on one of those days, and we'll get you started. You can try for free and see if you like it.
Cool.
Yeah.
And jiu-jitsu world will let's roll.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks again, man.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, appreciate it.